Deep underground in the wild Amazon rainforest, there lies a place that makes even the most seasoned archaeologists and governments of major powers wary. The Teos Cave in Ecuador, with its intricately carved metal plates and mysterious symbols that have never been decoded, along with a series of artifacts that seem to belong to no known culture. What made the Vatican, the CIA, and even royalty secretly send people to explore? What reasons compelled everyone to hide the results of these expeditions? That story will be revealed right now. Uncover the hidden treasures of the Amazon and explore the ruins of an unknown ancient civilization. Watch the video now to dive into this mysterious adventure. And don't forget to subscribe to BVT Discovery for more thrilling explorations and discoveries. In 1972, the book The Gold of the Gods by Erich von Däniken was released and immediately caused a global stir. The work unveiled a series of new clues surrounding an epic battle between gods in the universe, which resulted in the losing side retreating and settling on Earth. Within its pages, the story focused on a mysterious cave deep in the territory of the Shur people, also known as the Hibaros, a tribe infamous for their head-shrinking customs, which captivated millions of readers. According to von Däniken, guided by indigenous locals, he personally ventured into this area. The entrance was a complex network of underground tunnels, requiring one to navigate dangerous rock crevices to descend deep below the surface. Even though the locals were familiar with the surrounding terrain, they had no clear idea of what awaited inside. After climbing through a chimney-like rock crevice leading underground, they entered winding, dark corridors inhabited by the oilbird, a creature that emerges only at night and was regarded by the ancient wary people as a messenger of death. The air was thick with the smell of bird droppings, and the stone floor was damp, making every step potentially risky. The group had to trek on foot, paddle dugout canoes, and climb steep slopes in the jungle near the Santiago River, an isolated region untouched for centuries, inhabited solely by the Hibaros tribe. Inside the cave, the scene transformed dramatically. Large rooms appeared one after another, each filled with inexplicable phenomena. There was even an area containing the remains of a giant over 2 meters tall, its body covered in gold, and a hand with only 4 fingers. Another section was dubbed the Golden Library because it housed hundreds of metal plates engraved with characters and images that didn't belong to any known culture. These symbols bore striking similarities to Assyrian and Babylonian hieroglyphs, raising a profound question: why would traces of Middle Eastern civilizations appear in a cave in South America? Deeper still was a room resembling a grand hall, featuring seats made from an unidentified material with a surface akin to synthetic resin, not ordinary stone, wood, or metal. Surrounded by countless strange artifacts and hundreds of headless skeletons, von Däniken claimed to have personally explored this mysterious cave. Step by step, he described every corner, attributing the initial discovery to Juan Moricz. According to him, both men witnessed phenomena that transcended common understanding. For safety reasons, and due to the sensitive nature of the find, Moricz refused to reveal the exact location. Many readers couldn't help but wonder, where is this place? Is it real, or merely a legend? However, not long after, the initial excitement was overshadowed by an unexpected revelation. In 1973, the prestigious magazine Der Spiegel published an exclusive interview with Juan Moricz, the key figure in the story. In the article, Moricz clearly stated that von Däniken had never set foot in the cave. All the details in the book stemmed from Moritz's own accounts. He shared that he had been promised a sum of money to facilitate the expedition, but in the end, he received nothing. This news sparked immediate public controversy. Yet, there was a crucial detail. While Moricz denied von Däniken's involvement in the expedition, he did not deny the cave's existence. It was this peculiar silence that thrust his name into the spotlight of the press. Many began to question, if the cave was fictional, why didn't Moricz outright deny it? This enigma only deepened the intrigue. Expeditions continued in secrecy, drawing in powerful entities like the Vatican, which sought ancient knowledge possibly linked to biblical secrets. The CIA, intrigued by potential advanced technologies or extraterrestrial origins, and even royal figures, whispers of whom suggested hidden agendas tied to lost treasures. Governments hushed findings, perhaps fearing the rewrite of human history or the unleashing of forbidden knowledge. Artifacts from Taeyo's cave challenged established timelines. The metal plates, resistant to corrosion, hinted at advanced metallurgy unknown to pre-Columbian cultures. Symbols blending Egyptian, Sumerian, and unknown scripts suggested transoceanic contact millennia ago, defying the isolation of the Americas. The giant skeleton fueled theories of ancient giants or alien visitors, echoing global myths from the Bible's Nephilim to Native American legends. Why the cover-up? Some speculate geopolitical stakes. Control over such discoveries could shift power balances. Others point to religious implications. If these ruins prove extraterrestrial influences on humanity, it could upend world religions. The Sure Guardians, protective of their sacred site, resisted outsiders, adding layers of cultural conflict. In 1976, a major expedition led by Stan Hall, with Moritz's involvement and support from figures like Neil Armstrong, delved into Taeyo's. They mapped vast tunnels but claimed no golden library was found, yet photos and reports leaked, showing anomalies. Armstrong's cryptic comment, "It was magnificent," fueled suspicions of withheld truths. Today, Taeyo's remains restricted, guarded by Ecuador's military. Drones and satellite imagery reveal unnatural formations, but access is denied. Adventurers report eerie experiences, whispers in the dark, unexplained lights, and a sense of being watched. Is Taeyo's a portal to a lost civilization, perhaps Atlantis' outpost, or evidence of ancient astronauts, or a hoax amplified by sensationalism? The hidden treasures of the Amazon beckon explorers, but beware, the jungle swallows secrets, and some truths are buried too deep to unearth without consequence. As we peel back the layers, one thing is clear. The Amazon holds ruins of an unknown civilization, waiting to rewrite our past. Subscribe for more hidden wonders, and let me know in the comments, what do you think lies in Taeyo's cave? In fact, at that time, Erich von Däniken was already renowned as a dramatic writer who frequently employed soaring reasoning to propel his stories to climactic heights. He often linked ancient civilizations like Persia, Assyria, or Babylon with the legend of Atlantis, from which he hypothesized about extraterrestrial beings influencing human history. However, amidst the embellishments, there remained a kernel of truth in his work. Much of it stemmed from what Juan Moricz had shared with him, with von Däniken merely adding flourishes to heighten the suspense. Following the explosive article in Der Spiegel, von Däniken was interviewed and compelled to admit he had only been permitted to enter a small portion of the cave before being forced to turn back. This meant that the majority of the vivid descriptions in his book were not drawn from personal experiences, but were largely reconstructed from Moritz's accounts. Soon after, the public began to uncover the true identity of this enigmatic figure. Juan Moritz's real name was János Moricz, not a native South American, but an immigrant from Hungary who had settled in Argentina before venturing to Ecuador. Moricz was not merely a cave enthusiast. He possessed a profound background in archaeology and ancient languages, presenting himself as an adventurous, free-spirited, yet highly knowledgeable individual. Upon arriving in Ecuador, Moricz immersed himself among the locals, dedicating years to studying their ancient traditions. He noticed uncanny similarities between the Shure language of the indigenous tribe and the Magyar language of the Hungarians, connections that suggested links between two cultures separated by half the world. His exceptional communication skills, honed by his multilingual abilities and cultural sensitivity, allowed him to penetrate isolated communities deep within the jungle. Among these was the chief of the Shure tribe, who eventually revealed a sacred site believed to have been concealed by the gods themselves. From the moment Moricz set foot there, he was overwhelmed by the colossal rock formations guarding the entrance. As they delved deeper, they discovered torches prepared in advance by the natives, their flickering light illuminating the path. Accompanied by a peculiar handmade rope system, the group descended into the abyss. A labyrinthine series of corridors unfolded behind a sheer cliff, seemingly crafted only for the chosen few. Moricz beheld countless skeletons that appeared human but exhibited bizarre traits. Hands with only 4 fingers, chest structured differently from modern humans, with oversized and curved ribs. Beside them lay massive plates forged from gold, red copper, and unidentified metals. Their surfaces were etched with enigmatic carvings, strange yet evocative of ancient Oriental symbols. Drawing on his extensive knowledge of ancient scripts, Moricz concluded that this was an undiscovered writing system, so archaic that its origins and era defied determination. The expansive corridors stretched toward an underground horizon, enabling hours of uninterrupted exploration. During each foray, Moricz marked his path with small stones to ensure a safe return. Upon concluding the survey, the Shure chief implored him to maintain absolute secrecy, arguing that no one would believe such a cave existed or that an ancient people had once dwelled there. This encounter solidified Moritz's conviction. This place was once the home of an ancient civilization, and that treasure, or rather, the ancient library, was the preserved memory of a race that existed in the distant past. As a dedicated explorer, Moricz recognized the need for further investigation, but probing such depths in a dense, isolated jungle demanded specialized gear, modern lighting, a team of technicians, and robust equipment. Thus, he embarked on a quest for funding, traversing the globe only to encounter indifference and scorn. Remember, this was 1965, long before von Däniken's book catapulted the tale to fame. Stories of treasure caves and ancient scripts sounded like fairy tales to most. Some scholars outright branded him a charlatan. Then, a glimmer of hope emerged from an unlikely source: the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, commonly known as the Mormon Church. According to their doctrine, the prophet Joseph Smith had encountered the angel Moroni, who revealed the location of golden plates containing sacred truths. Smith translated part of them before Moroni reclaimed the plates, hiding them in a secret place for future generations. Intriguingly, near the Teyos Cave region in Moroni-Santiago province, there was a tribe and area echoing the name Moroni. When Moricz contacted church representatives, they expressed immediate interest due to this uncanny coincidence. Thus, the Mormon Church's expedition to Teyos Cave was officially launched, ostensibly to search for these sacred plates. But whispers circulated that some participants were actually CIA agents pursuing elements tied to covert underground government projects. This suspicion was fueled by historical precedents. The area had reportedly been probed by Nazi security organizations between 1936 and 1940 with similar aims. Moricz himself, beyond mineral prospecting, was rumored to be hunting the lost treasure of the Inca Emperor Atahualpa, a hoard that even the Spanish conquistadors had coveted. However, just as the Mormon Church committed substantial funding, complications arose. Instead of elation, Moricz grew wary. High-ranking church figures from the United States descended upon Ecuador, traversing forests and fording streams to reach Teyos, harboring expectations of unearthing extraordinary heritage with ties to mining rights and economic exploitation. Sensing their ulterior motives, Moricz led them into a peripheral, insignificant cave. In the end, the group returned empty-handed to Quito. No treasures, no access to antiquities. Undeterred, Moricz sought fresh support through his friend, explorer Julio Goyen. Together, they connected with government agencies, assembling a survey team comprising indigenous guides and soldiers, including one named Yen Perez, who knew the treacherous terrain intimately. Though modest in scale, this group penetrated the cave, approaching the purported treasure hideout. They encountered flocks of oilbirds, known locally as teyos, gathering at the entrance, their nocturnal calls echoing ominously. But before delving deeper, the natives balked, refusing to proceed. Even Soldier Perez hesitated near the threshold. Only Moricz and Goyen pressed on bravely, and Goyen later corroborated witnessing unbelievable phenomena. Now, the narrative had a second witness, a seasoned explorer renowned in adventuring circles. Yet, limited resources curtailed their progress. By 1969, authorities greenlit a larger expedition, equipped with state-of-the-art surveying tools and backed by military engineers. Upon arrival, However, Moricz discerned that many in the group prioritized resource exploitation over cultural preservation. Consequently, the mission faltered. A pivotal detail later emerged from Goyen. The cave possessed an ingenious lighting system. Special quartz crystals absorbed sunlight from outside, diffusing it throughout via reflective, mirror-like surfaces, generating illumination without fire or electricity. Moreover, the internal atmosphere circulated naturally, remaining pleasant and impurity-free. After these successive failures, Moritz's reputation plummeted. Skeptics accused him of fabricating tales for glory and profit. But the truth painted a different picture. Moricz was a wealthy man, having discovered numerous mineral deposits and collaborated with mining firms. His assets, including precious metals, were deposited in Ecuadorian and Argentine banks. What drove him was not fame or fortune, but a genuine pursuit of knowledge. Following the 1969 debacle, Moricz took a bold step. He notarized a document asserting legal ownership of the discovery site, barring unauthorized entry. This meticulously drafted affidavit, grounded in airtight arguments, left no loopholes. If it were mere fantasy, why invest such effort in a charade? Furthermore, Moricz personally petitioned the Ecuadorian president for military protection of the area, framing it as a national asset under legal safeguard. At this juncture, the Vatican intervened, dramatically altering the landscape. The Holy See voiced vehement objections to activities surrounding Tejo's cave. Why did they meddle in this remote discovery? It's a question without definitive answers. If Moricz were merely paranoid, why did powerhouses, including the Mormon Church, national militaries, and now the Vatican, lavish such extraordinary attention? Post the infamous Der Spiegel interview exposing von Däniken's exaggerations, Moricz connected with Stanley Hall, an archaeology aficionado with ties to British royalty. Hall swiftly earned Moritz's trust by promising an honorary title from Queen Elizabeth II, along with immediate funding, long-term financial backing, and endorsements from premier research institutions. The intrigue intensified when Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon, joined the Tejo's expedition roster, an emblem of space conquest now delving into earthly depths. Despite allurements of fame, Moricz demurred, insisting on full control without external interference. Naturally, this was rebuffed. Nonetheless, the Ecuadorian government sanctioned the 1976 expedition. Moricz abstained but dispatched Julio Goyen to oversee it. The team ventured underground for 3 grueling weeks. Astronaut Armstrong later remarked that the ordeal was worse than walking on the moon. 8 elite British cavers executed a rigorous survey, blending fieldwork with advanced metrics to craft a detailed 3D map. While subterranean features mirrored Moritz's prior descriptions, no evidence surfaced of the bizarre artifacts. No metallic archives, no humanoid library, no man-made constructs. Searches yielded dead ends, branding Moritz's saga a grand fabrication. Finally, in 1991, Moricz passed away without further elucidation, entombing the secret. The Shure tribe ceased sharing intel with outsiders. Some theorize Moricz dynamited remaining entrances during his mining era to safeguard the enigma until humanity matured enough. His expertise rendered this feasible. Yet, Juan Moricz wasn't the inaugural unlocker of this mystery. In the early 20th century, Salesian priest Father Crespi arrived in Ecuador on a missionary quest. Driven by anthropological zeal, he swiftly assimilated into tribal life deep in the forest, captivated by the warrior community's isolation amid tropical wilderness. In 1927, Crespi released a documentary film, The Undefeated Warriors of the Upper Amazon, chronicling the Shure's customs. This not only held archival merit, but peeled back layers of indigenous existence and lore. Through deeds like erecting schools, clinics, and traversing jungles to proselytize while absorbing ancient tales, Crespi earned profound trust. What precisely ignited his historical obsession remains murky, perhaps the exploratory ethos of European scholars then. But the Shure confided in him about mysterious golden tablets, akin to what they'd later tell Moricz. Though Crespi never entered Tejo's, he received myriad artifacts, amassing a collection displayed at his monastery. Most were rudimentary crafts, yet a few, if authenticated, could revolutionize archaeology, particularly metallic plates inscribed with alien symbols mirroring Morich's cave library depictions. Strikingly, Crespi published no scholarly works, leaving no analyses. He sequestered everything in a modest room at the Salesian monastery in Cuenca, where fellow priests decried exhibiting pagan items in hallowed space. In 1962, Crespi's museum succumbed to arson, incurring massive losses, though some artifacts survived and were re-exhibited. Facing escalating ecclesiastical opposition, the aging, frail priest relinquished his pursuit. Rumors swirled that the concealment order emanated directly from the Vatican, which had dispatched inspectors multiple times. Whispers even implicated the Holy See in thwarting Ecuadorian funding for Tello's surveys, implying they knew the subterranean secrets all too well. Theoretically, the priest's trove couldn't have fully perished in flames. More plausibly, items were covertly removed, staging the fire to obliterate traces. Upon Crespi's death in 1982, only fragments remained. Artifacts reportedly transferred to the Vatican, never displayed, with no official records detailing them. So what were these enigmatic artifacts? Why did they captivate global powers? If mere figments of an elderly priest or eccentric explorer's imagination, perhaps those metallic plates truly exist, harboring revelations too monumental for public disclosure. Or maybe it's all a fabrication born of humanity's yearning to trace origins, touching realms beyond intellectual bounds. The Tello's Cave saga endures as a tapestry of intrigue, blending fact with folklore. Expeditions have mapped its natural wonders, vast chambers echoing with oilbird cries, crystalline formations glistening in dim light. But the alleged artificial tunnels and golden library elude confirmation. Skeptics dismiss it as pseudoscience, yet persistent anomalies fuel speculation. Why the sure secrecy? What if Crespi's vanished collection, possibly whisked to Vatican vaults? Conspiracies abound. Nazi hunts for occult power in the 1930s, 40s, CIA interest in advanced tech during Cold War tensions, Mormon quests for prophetic relics. Even royalty and astronauts' involvement hints at high-stakes cover-ups. Perhaps Tello's guards evidence of pre-Columbian transoceanic contacts, Sumerian-like scripts in South America defying isolation theories, or extraterrestrial interventions reshaping history. Modern tech like drones and ground-penetrating radar tantalizes, revealing anomalies beneath the jungle canopy. Yet access remains restricted, patrolled by Ecuadorian forces and sure guardians. Adventurers whisper of eerie encounters, disembodied voices, fleeting lights, and omnipresent watchfulness. As we delve deeper, questions multiply. Was Moricz a visionary or visionary fraud? Did Crespi's artifacts prove a lost civilization, suppressed by religious gatekeepers? The Amazon's hidden treasures beckon, but unraveling them risks upending paradigms of history, faith, even humanity's place in the cosmos. For now, Tello's remains an enigma, its depths swallowing secrets. But one day, perhaps, the truth will surface, rewriting our narrative. Until then, subscribe for more explorations into the unknown, and share your theories below. What do you believe lies buried in Tello's cave?